Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Annalisa, and today I am painting a dress. A silly fantasy dress, and this was inspired by the Call the Midwife show of all things. So I tend to get inspired by kind of off-the-wall things, and this time I happened to be watching Call the Midwife last night, and we were watching, I believe, the last episode of the first season, because we've just started to rewatch the whole show. And so in that episode, there is a character who decides that she is going to wear a non-traditional wedding dress. And so that got me thinking about my own ideas for wedding dresses. And so then I decided that I would paint my ideas for a fun dress that I would like to wear. Instead of just having it exist in my head, because this was a slightly new idea that was partially built on an old idea, so I kind of wanted to remember what it was later on. So what I saw in my imagination was a mainly pink dress. It's got layers of like see-through fabric on the top of it, and it's very pastel, and it also does transitions between different colors, so it's like a rainbow dress but with majority pink. And so, as you know, I have had some trouble creating a pink that I like with my watercolor palette, so I decided to try to add some different colors in besides red and white. So this time I added some of my orange in, and I really liked it because one of my favorite types of pink is a very peachy pink. And so then I wanted to have it sort of blend out to these other pastel colors. So I got some of my shiny yellow and my shiny blue, and then this turquoise sort of color that I have, and add just a touch of that and then a touch of green. And the pattern for the shape of the dress is actually something that I've enjoyed for a long time. This will also seem kind of random, but there is a Barbie movie, Barbie Rapunzel, in which Barbie designed several dresses for herself, and one of them that wasn't actually her final pick to go to the ball in was actually my favorite, and that was a purple one that had these puff sleeves and had this sort of bodice that you can see I'm painting now. And I just really loved the way that that bodice and the puff sleeves looked, because for some reason puff sleeves that are just slight puffs instead of giant puffs are just my absolute favorite thing. And so I have been wanting to wear a dress like that for a long time, and so I thought I should incorporate that shape into this color idea that I had. Other than that, I just winged it and kept adding colors till I felt like the outline and the shape was defined. Got to a point where I felt like there was some texture on that top insert purple piece, and where the colors seem to fade nicely, and I added a fair amount of white watercolors over the top of some of the transitioning portions because I felt like they were getting kind of muddy, because one of the things that you have to be careful of when mixing a lot of colored paints is turning it to a muddy sort of a color instead of just transitioning. And so I had a little bit of mud going on near the center of the dress, so I decided to go over that with a little bit of mostly white watercolor with a bit of pink, because white watercolor shows up hardly at all on top of other watercolors, but it can sometimes make transitions work better and just kind of calm them down. And so I felt like that unmuddied a bit of the middle part there in the transitions. And then I was just feeling like I wanted something a little bit more, so I decided to make a sword to match this dress. And the shape for this sword was inspired by some commissioned fan art that I saw recently on Tumblr. And I don't remember what show it was for, but it was of a character who had a sword that was sort of had a hilt that was shaped sort of like this, or a handguard, that's what it's called. It had a handguard shaped like this with like feather looking details on it, so I really like that shape. And then I just made a rainbow blade with a green hilt and had some fun doing some nonsense. And that's all the voiceover that I'm going to do for today because I'm just quite tired today. This was a bit of a silly piece, very not planned out and just spontaneous. So kind of a sketchbook, trying things out, experimental piece more than a polished, trying to learn things and practice my style piece. But I enjoyed doing it and I enjoy looking at it now. So thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!